As a journalist, storyteller, and videographer, one challenge that you face is capturing a series of video shots that explains what's happening. And while voiceover narration and interview sound bites are important for telling the story, the visuals are necessary for showing what is happening. Let's take a few minutes to focus on techniques for shooting B-roll video that will enhance your storytelling skills. Hello, I'm Sam Ebersole with Global News Alliance. Welcome to another GNA Quick Tips episode. Today we're talking about shooting B-roll video and visual storytelling techniques. News stories are made up of A-roll and B-roll footage. Both are necessary and important for effective storytelling. A-roll is the video content that tells the viewer what is happening. For example, interview sound bites with eyewitnesses or participants. And B-roll is the video content that shows the viewer what is happening. To illustrate shooting and using B-roll, I'm going to provide examples from a recent news story that a colleague and I shot in Zambia. The GNA story was about a team of volunteers who assisted in the construction of a steel structure that became a church building for a local congregation. If you want to see the full news story, I'll provide a link in the description below. When we got to the location, we interviewed the local church superintendent, a member of the church, a missionary couple who live in Zambia, and members of a volunteer team who came from the U.S. The purpose of recording those interviews was to provide the A-roll segments, a series of short sound bites that, along with the narration, would tell the story of the church construction outreach. But for viewers to really understand what was involved, we needed to show B-roll footage of the actual construction process. This included establishing shots of the field where the church building was to be constructed, medium shots of the workers, and close-up shots with details of the construction process. We also included a time-lapse sequence of the process that showed the building being erected. The first important technique when shooting B-roll is to capture the scene with a series of shots that vary from wide-angle establishing shots to medium shots to close-up detailed shots that bring the viewer in close to the action. Remember to record about 10 seconds for each shot and include static shots at the beginning and end of shots that pan or tilt. Also, try to vary your position relative to the subject. Don't shoot all of your shots from the same position. For example, if the event is someone speaking to a crowd, get shots of the speaker from the crowd's perspective, and then get shots from behind the speaker showing the crowd. Consider low-angle or high-angle shots to provide variety and creativity. When it comes time to edit the sequence of shots, you'll find that a variety of shots from different perspectives and angles will make editing much easier. And speaking of editing, the second technique for shooting B-roll is to shoot for the edit. What I mean by that is, think about how the shots will edit together as you shoot them. This requires that you have some experience editing a series of shots together to tell a story. So if you're just starting out, this should be a long-range goal for you to practice and perfect. Shoot a series of shots and edit them together. Practice learning which shots edit together more easily than others. Nothing replaces the practice of shooting and editing to refine this skill, and I promise you that time spent in practice will serve you well as you advance as a reporter, storyteller, and video journalist. The third tip when shooting B-roll is to capture good nat sound. Nat sound refers to the sounds that naturally occur in that moment, and it's sometimes referred to as ambient sound. We should hear sounds of construction when showing a construction scene, and we should hear those sounds even while our attention and focus might be listening to voiceover narration or a soundbite. The nat sound should be included when editing the news package, but at a very low level in the background of the audio track. At times, it's good to include a short segment of nat sound, sometimes referred to as a nat pop, to separate the voiceover and sound bites that make up the audio track. Here's an example of a short nap pop that provides a pause in the storyline while drawing the viewer into the scene. Africa Tabernacle Evangelism, or ATE, partners with local believers to provide places of worship.
So it's the morning of the day one. Everything is going great.
We are on our fourth section of the tabernacle. We're just kind of putting it into place.
Pastor Richie Perko is leading the Colorado team as they work side by side with local believers. The last tip for shooting B-roll is to pay attention to the composition, framing, and lighting of your shots. Oftentimes, you won't have the luxury of spending a lot of time on these details when a news story is happening right in front of you. But this is why we need to practice. As we do, we're learning to respond quickly to changing conditions. Just a small change in the framing of the shot, or taking 5 or 10 steps to the left or to the right to better compose the shot or improve the lighting, these little adjustments can make a great difference in the end. Well, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep shooting video that informs and inspires your audience. And remember to like or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, visit gna.news for more information about becoming a smartphone reporter and citizen journalist, telling stories about what God is doing in your church, in your city, your country, on your continent. Until next time, may God bless you.